Well, good morning, everyone, and sorry to keep you waiting, but thank you all for joining us for our October Schultzky Memorial Service. So a few months ago, well, actually, it was in the our newsletter, the Michi, The Way. It was an article that I introduced, a story about a man who, well, it was actually, I mean, it was a movie, Japanese movie called Perfect Days. And it was about a man who lived by himself, didn't really have a family. And basically what he was a person who, well, he was living in Tokyo, and his job was to go out and clean public toilets. And so, you know, this whole movie was about this man who goes out every day and to clean public toilets. And, you know, and basically he loves his job. And he does a really wonderful job of, you know, cleaning all of the toilets that he services every day. And, you know, I know, so it was a really interesting movie of how, like, this one man who, he doesn't really have a family. He has a niece that he sees once in a while, but otherwise, you know, he lives by himself and has a very kind of like a simple, everyday existence. But he seems to be happy with his life, and he seems to be happy with the work that he does, going out every day to clean public toilets. And at any rate, you know, it made me remember the story of, well, not a story, but this thing that happened maybe about over 10 years ago. I was here at the temple I think it was on a Saturday, and the doorbell rang, and so I went out, and there was a man standing there, and he came in, and he said, I'm here, excuse me. I'm here from Japan, and I brought some of my students, and we are, you know, here in Los Angeles to tour, to, you know, see America and to tour Los Angeles, and we saw your temple here, and so we thought we would stop by. And so he came in, and then he says, you know, what we would like to do is to do some service for the temple, to clean, you know, maybe to clean your hall or something like that. But what we do is we clean toilets. And I said, oh, well, you know, we have like a maintenance crew that cleans our restrooms, but yeah, I mean, if you'd like, you know, if the your students would like to, you know, take a look at our toilets, that'd be fine. And so then they came in, and then they started working on the toilets, and so after a little while, I went down to see how they were doing, and you know, they're like on their on their hands and knees, and they're on the floor using rags. They're not using any tools or anything, just rags and water and soap, and they're just scrubbing the floor and scrubbing the toilets, and they're doing, you know, like a really wonderful job of cleaning these the restrooms downstairs. And you know, and I was kind of like really amazed at you know, how like they were like high school students, and how like they were just so you know, focused on just trying to do a good job of cleaning our restrooms. And so, you know, I was just really impressed with the work that they were doing, and how like they really enjoyed doing something nice for, say, an organization like our temple. And he said, they think, we're involved. Most people think that we're a volunteer organization, but we're really just kind of like a social group. And it's not our mission to go out and to, to help, groups in society and so forth. But what we're doing is we're doing this for ourselves, and that our work is totally selfish. It's for ourselves, and we clean dirty toilets. And when we do that, we feel as though we're polishing ourselves. And so, it was a really interesting group to be with, and then to see how hard they work, and how meticulous they are in cleaning. And I was thinking, geez, this is the work. I mean, the job that they're doing of cleaning our toilets is much better than what our professional cleaning service does for us. And I was just kind of really amazed at how much they put their whole effort, or their whole beings into doing something like cleaning a restaurant. I mean, a restroom. When you think about Japan, those of you who've been to Japan, have probably, utilized public restrooms. And back in the old days, they weren't very nice, to be honest. And you would be walking down the street, and then you could actually smell the toilets, that are the public toilets that are on the streets. But then now, nowadays they've modernized, and they've cleaned up the restrooms, and so you see, these toilets that are really nice now. And this movie called Perfect Days was really basically, the filmmaker, it's an interesting story because it's a Japanese movie, but it was made by a German filmmaker named Wim Wenders. And he apparently likes Japan a lot, and he's always kind of thought about making a movie about Japan. And he came up with this idea, and he had heard that Tokyo was had built these brand new public toilets here and there in public parks and so forth. And so he wanted to do a film about the toilets that had been created. And what happened was he decided to do a film about a person who goes in and every day goes in and cleans the toilet, and he finds this person who's doing that, and makes really a wonderful film about a person who enjoys his life so much, even though you look at the job that he's doing, and it's kind of like a menial job. It's not, it's kind of like he's probably not making a lot of money, but and he's out there going every day cleaning dirty restrooms, and yet he seems to enjoy his life so much, and he seems to enjoy his everyday so much. And I think it is kind of like the group that came to clean our toilets, but they're doing it not just for the benefit of the temple, but for the benefit of the people that use the toilets, but that they're doing it for themselves. They're doing it because it's something that makes them feel good. And I think that's a good reason for what some of the things that we sometimes don't enjoy doing, but at the same time, when we finish the job, we really feel good about having been able to complete something that needed to be done. And at any rate, they spent a couple of hours here, and then when they were finished, They had to leave for their appointment, and there was a Japan Expo that was being held in downtown, and they had to leave because they had an appointment there. And so then they called me out from the office and went out to the parking lot, and they were all like lined up very formally. And then when I came out, all of them, they were like I said, young high school men and women, and they all lined up, and then they bowed to me, and they thanked me for giving them the opportunity to clean our toilets at our temple. And so, of course, I bowed back and thanked them for choosing our temple and our toilets to be cleaned by them. And this kind of symbolic, offer that they made to our temple in order to do something good that made them feel good as well. I was thinking about how we have these opportunities to do things, do nice things for something like a temple or for other people and so forth. And when we think about Buddhism, and when we think about Shinran Shonin, our founder, and then his understanding of compassion, he talks about real compassion. He says, it's the true feeling of empathy that comes from the heart and leads someone to do something genuinely good for another. And however, he felt like he himself was incapable of doing such pure acts. And because every time that he did something nice for someone, it was always tainted by an ulterior motive, by a desire to be appreciated, to be recognized, to have the favor returned. I did this for you, you owe me one, and so forth. And as I was watching the young people clean our toilets, I thought back about the experiences that I've had leading our youth groups and seminars at our retreat center in Kyoto. And every morning, right after we're awakened at 6 a.m., we're expected to do a thorough cleanup of our rooms, of the hallways and of the bathrooms. And I tell the students, basically high school and college students, I tell them that they have to do their share. And I'd right away reach for a broom or for a vacuum cleaner and start in, basically to try to set a decent example and hope that others would follow through. By the end of the cleanup session, I'd be so frustrated because very few would take the responsibilities seriously. And how many of us do that at our homes on an everyday basis. And as I was watching the young people, and this group was from Hiroshima, I had to admit also that even on those occasions when I was at the Mother Temple, I'd always find some excuse not to clean the actual commodes, in the toilet. I'd pick up a rag and clean out the sink or something else. And no matter what it was with that feeling, I hope someone is noticing how hard I'm working. Or after the fact thinking, gee, some of them really didn't do anything. They have to be told to share the responsibility. And so that's why it was so refreshing to have this group come all the way from Hiroshima, to have them get down on their hands and knees to scrub our floors, our toilets. And then after they were finished, to line up, bow down in unison, and say, thank you for giving us the opportunity to clean your bathrooms. And every one of them came to realize that they're doing it not only for the sake of society, not only for the sake of our members, but for their own sakes. That doing the dirty work always, allows them to polish themselves. That in the end, they are the ones who are benefiting from the hard hard and dirty work that they do. And so, I think that when we can develop that kind of attitude of cleaning up, regardless of whether it's a temple or outside or even in our homes, to be able to clean up and to do it, not because I'm forced to do it or I have to do it, but to do it because it's the right thing to do, or well, maybe not so much the right thing to do, but it's a way in which we can keep, our lives beautiful and enjoyable and so forth, and also to help make the lives of others that we live together with, a little bit more enjoyable as well. In a couple of months, we'll be having our year-end services, and then we'll have our temple cleanup. And so if you have time, please come out and help us and do what we can to maintain, the beauty and, the cleanliness of our temple grounds, and especially our hondo, the temple building itself. Okay, well, thank you all for joining us for our October Shotsky Memorial Service. And hope that you have a wonderful rest of today. Thank you.